Hey team, happy Monday. I hope we're feeling absolutely sensational today. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about where I was last week. Last week, I went to an event in Belfast. Now, this event was with my fitness mentor and a load of other coaches, around 250 other coaches. I have worked with Phil Graham and the team for 2 years, it will be at the end of October, almost said December then, at the end of October. And I just wanted to bring some things to you because there's so many lessons in everything that we do. There's so many things that highlight the good, the bad, the ugly. There's so many realizations that a lot of the time we don't give ourselves credit or time and space to sit back and reflect. So I wanted to do that today. And I've got some notes here because it was so powerful, and what I did, so on Monday evening when I was there last week, I had a photo shoot and I took some time during that photo shoot to reflect back to my first one. And these are just like lifestyle shoots. So this one was very much me suited and booted and at a laptop, showing people how I generally work, although I do not work suited and booted. That was just a bit of a I suppose like a stance and a status of I've got my fucking shit together and life is going very well and I feel like I'm bossing life. Obviously, sometimes life will have my pants down and that does happen very frequently. But even looking back at the woman that I was back in May 2021, comparing the not progress pictures, the photo shoot pictures, it's mad. It's mad. Like, I don't even recognize that woman anymore. I don't even know who she was. For starters, she used to wear glasses. Secondly, she, her physique was okay, but it wasn't anywhere near what I am now. And her confidence was nowhere near, her self-trust, her self-belief. Whereas now I've got this massive sense of self-trust. I know whatever happens, I will be absolutely fine, whether that be in personal or whether that be in career. I've got this sense of I've got you, Sash. Okay, and this is one of the main things that I help to install into the women inside the club is self-trust and self-respect. Look after yourself and trust that you'll be okay regardless. So I've broken the notes down into before I joined the mentorship program, before I joined Phil Graham. I'd been watching him for about 3 years and I'd messaged him like what I do on my social media. If this sounds like you, if you want some help, message me the word coaching. Phil's is something like message me the word mentoring or whatever it could be. And I messaged probably about 4 or 5 times over the few years that I was following him. And every time I bottled it, I had a massive disconnect of belief between where I was, personal training, slogging on the gym floor for absolutely hours, to where he was saying that I could be. And one of the main metrics of what Phil does that really pulled me in was freedom. I did really not feel free, both personally and professionally. And I couldn't understand how I could gain that freedom with his help. There was a massive disconnect. So I was back and forth, back and forth. When I finally hopped on a call with his salesperson it was about the April 2020, I basically turned him down. And this guy is ruthless. He is very ruthless because he can see the potential in you. It's not so that Phil Graham gets more money. They can see the potential in you and they want to get you across the line in order to help you. Some of you may feel that that's a bit opportunistic, but look at my life now. Okay, so when we're speaking to people who genuinely fucking care about where you're going in your life, they want to help you. And Kirk Miller, the guy who was on the call, he was very much trying to get me across the line. And I was like, I'm not ready. Lockdowns had just hit. I was a company director, so I wasn't getting any help from the government. I was like, no way can I fork out, I think it was like $7,000. No way can I do that. Not a chance, not right now. And I said to him, look, I'm in, but not yet. And he was, it was an interesting conversation, but I stuck to my words. And I basically spent the whole of 2020 doing online personal training sessions, trying to build up my academy, kickstarting all these different programs, these little like 50 quid a month, blah, blah, blah. And then I went back to the gym floor in September. And I just remember how I didn't want to be there anymore. I had checked out. It's like when you check out of a relationship. I loved my clients, okay? I really did love my clients. But that wasn't for me anymore. The one thing that had been my absolute passion, I loved it, teaching classes, like all of these different things were my absolute passion. But sometimes we change. A lot of the time we change. And I couldn't anymore. So ironically, when they next announced that there was a lockdown, all personal trainers across the UK were like, no. And I was like, fuck yes. And I basically left it a couple of weeks and then I was like, I'm getting back in with Phil. It's time to go. So I booked in with Kirk. He went through all the kind of like the process of talking about, and I was like, mate, I don't want to hear any of this. Let's just fucking go. I know how much it is. I know where we're going. I know, let's go. So that was where it started. Now, I'd had a mentor before. I'd worked with a female mentor for a year-long period who got me building fucking websites and doing all this shit that was really, really, really not going to move the needle forwards with my progression and where I was going in life. So I actually felt a bit stung by that previous mentor. Now, she had changed the lives, or she had facilitated the change of many other people's lives. So it wasn't that she was the problem, okay? And it wasn't that I was the problem. It just wasn't right for me. And this is what I think we need to give ourselves credit for, that, you know, just because you've joined a program or just because you've got a mentor, and maybe if it didn't work, it's no one's fault. Sometimes it is just one of those things that it just isn't right. And a lot of the time, not a lot of the time, but some of the time, we actually aren't ready. You know, I don't believe that the way she was doing things was right for me. And at the time I thought she was. And then I had another mentor who was, he's another fairly famous guy, and his was good. And it got me shifted from where I was slightly into being more kind of receptible and the ability to receive mentoring again, because after the previous girl, who was even more expensive than Authority Network, I felt a bit stung. I felt a bit scared. So this other guy pulled me in. His name's Paul Moore, and he was brilliant. You know, he was really good. A lot to do with the mindset side of things, and yeah, so he was great as well. So I knew the reason why I joined Phil is because I knew I wanted more from life. Not only did I want more from my own freedom, I wanted to impact people more. Standing there doing personal training sessions is so fulfilling for a lot of people, and a lot of people get great results. But for me, I fucking knew I could get better results. And I knew that if I had more time with that person, if I could help them on mindset, lifestyle, movement, and nutrition, all of the things together that create us as humans, you know, I knew I could get better results. And I knew I could live a life where I wasn't tied down. Like, I'm a Sagittarius through and through. Don't try and tie me down. Don't try and put me into a box. I am a free spirit. So personal training, when it's like, oh, I'll meet you at the gym at 6 a.m. and it was just too rigid for me. I like to be free flowing. I like to be meeting myself where I'm at and where my energy levels are. So I knew I could do more. And I believed after that kind of April to September stint where I was kind of working on myself and didn't sign up to Phil, but knew it was going to be something that would happen. In that time, I was getting myself fully ready. I knew the impact I could have. I knew how life could be different. And it was like the priming phase, which was really, really powerful, I suppose. And I was scared and I was skeptical. Of course I was. It was a lot of money to invest. I still had a bit of a disbelief that I could get there. I didn't really know how it was going to be. But I thought, what's the fucking alternative, Sasha? You've tried different mentors. You've tried working with someone one-to-one who's local. You've done all these different things. You know that there's somewhere else you can go. Phil is putting up all this social proof, all these amazing people who are, you know, helping 100 people to be the best and all these different things. I wanted that. So I decided to go in. I think people think when you sign a coach or a mentor, I think they think that's it, problem solved. Here's the magic wand, job done. It's not, guys. Okay. There is like the first word I put here is tough. It was fucking tough. It still is tough. Running a business, learning new things, adapting with the economy, all these different things, working with humans. It's hard. And the same for you on whatever journey you're going on. If you're saying to yourself, fucking hell, this is hard, what do you expect? You know, if it was easy, it probably wouldn't be the right thing for you to do. As humans, we are designed to evolve and grow. We are designed to step out of our comfort zone. That is where we thrive. And yeah, in the moment, it's fucking scary. So the first word I've written down is tough. The second one is there have been so many moments where I haven't believed in myself, but I've just had to go, let's just see. Let's just see, because what's the alternative again? And so many people come to me and they're like, oh, I've got imposter syndrome. I've got doubt. And I'm like, what do you expect? You know, when we're stepping into the realms of going into being in the best shape of our adult life, we've not been there before. Of course you're going to doubt it. Of course you're going to have this kind of identity shift between your old, maybe bigger version of yourself for this new version of yourself. You're buying size 10 clothes for the first time in fucking 20 years. Of course it's going to feel a bit weird, because we are conditioned humans. We get conditioned to our current status quo. So then if you are breaking away from that, growth is yucky and it's sticky. So allow for that to be the case. Allow for yourself to feel that, because again, what's the alternative? The changes that I made during, like, what have been rapid. Okay, so since joining Authority Network, it's not just about business, and that's what I love about it. Me as a human, I think so much better. I do not fucking play. There's that saying, don't expect to wrestle with pigs and not end up covered in shit. Okay, I don't wrestle with many pigs anymore. I don't care what you have to say about me. I don't care if you think I'm this, that, and the other, because I know, again, it comes back to that self-trust. I know I'm doing fucking good work. I'm helping a lot of women across the globe, and I do my best. And like it was for my previous female mentor, sometimes it's just not okay. The same for personally. I swear a lot. I'm quite abrupt. I say it how it is. Some people literally cream their pants over that. Other people hate it. They absolutely hate it. Cool. I'm just not for you, boo. All right. So off you go. I don't need to know anything more about you. And that's, I will always be polite and friendly to people, regardless of their opinion of me, because I'm not the type of person who's going to give my power away. I know I trust myself so much. And this is from working on myself with 250 other absolutely insane coaches, with also mentors and guides to help me there. I could not have got to where I am today without being surrounded by other people. Community, tribe, inspiration, education, they are all things that all of us need if we really want to reach the heights that we've never reached before. The next thing is, I had to let people down. So I joined Authority Network, I think it was actually Halloween 2020. I then was thinking about, how do I want to do this? Okay, I want to do a fat loss program to begin and see how that goes. What's it going to be called? And came up with all these crazy names, which looking back now, like I called one of them Prosper, I think. I don't even know, because to live a prosperous life, but obviously that's more to do with wealth, and I'm not about wealth. It's more, I wanted that feeling of abundance, I suppose, and then came up with the CC, the coaching club, and it's perfect. It could not be more perfect. I love it because it is what we are, and it's a club, it's a unity, it's everyone coming together. But so I started, I think I first welcomed the first lady into the club around the 7th of November 2020. And which, if you think about it, that's rapid. It was like a week after I started. And in not so long at all, I had probably 20 or 30 people in there. Again, it wasn't an all fat loss program. It wasn't anything like it is now. And I was like, I'm running an online academy with 80 members in it, and it's fucking hard graft, and I've got one-to-one clients. I had to let people down. By the end of March 2021, I was no longer a personal trainer. I was no longer running the academy. I had to shut it down. I gave 30 days notice to close the academy down because it was actually tanking my energy. And as much as I loved helping all these people, it was tanking energy and money, to be fair. It was a hole in the business bucket. Now, this is a business. I run a business, but it's a compassionate business. But equally, it's a fucking business. I've got people I need to pay. I've got bills I need to pay myself, and having something that is nice to do, but is actually draining money and not creating any profit is a no-go, and I gave it a good shot. It was there for about 2 to 3 years. I gave it a good shot. And because of the cost of the academy, it was like $13.99 a month. You need thousands of people. Look at James Smith. That's how he's made it so successful. So I had to let people down. I had to message my gorgeous one-to-one personal training clients and say, guys, I'm actually leaving Bannatynes. This was in the December. And I'm not going to be doing personal training even online anymore. And it was gutting because some of these people I've seen once or twice a week for the past 5-6 years, but at all times, I knew that even though it is hard, even though I woke up fucking crying my eyes out a lot of the time because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to so many people down, I knew where I was going in some direction. I had this sixth sense. I had this desire, this innate fucking, I don't even know what it is, this pull towards a direction. So I kept going regardless of letting people down. Being a people pleaser, which most of us are, especially women, that's hard to do. But what's the alternative? Now, where am I at? Like I said at the beginning, looking back at Sasha from May 2021, I don't recognize her. And it used to really trigger me when people would say, you've changed. Whereas now I'm like, I know, it's ace, isn't it? I know, like, look at me, like, I don't snap at people so much. I'm so much more patient with people. I make things about them rather than about me. I don't give a fuck if someone doesn't like me, like I said earlier. I am learning and educating and exploring. I'm in the best physical shape I've possibly been in. I'm single. I live in my own home. Like, if someone looked at me and said, you're exactly the same as you were, you haven't changed one bit, that would trigger me more these days. So I don't recognize who I was before. I am so eternally grateful. And this is like what I'm getting at here, guys, is look at the contrast between where I was to where I am now. Look at the vehicle that has helped me to facilitate this. I could not have done it on my own. And why I'm saying this is because I urge you to find your tribe. I urge you to find some program, group of people. I don't know what it is. And I'm not saying this just in case, like, for it to be coaching club, like, not at all, but find your tribe. Find the people who are going to help you to get to where you want to get to. And if you're not sure where you want to get to, just get out of the place that you currently are. If you're not happy, get out of that current place where you just feel like, oh, this isn't for me anymore. I can't do this. I'm knackered all the time. I'm overweight, whatever, or business is driving me mad. I could not be the grateful person I am today if I hadn't have done the self-development, if I hadn't have started to tap into my needs, my wants, the way I want my life to live, and really start to do that. And people think it's selfish, but look at the fucking deal that people get from me now. Look at how people, Sasha back then would have been heads up her ass, exhausted, people pleasing, snappy with James at the time when I was with him, all these different things. I'm a completely different human now. And I'm so grateful for everyone who comes into my path, good, bad, and ugly. And I'm so grateful for all of the girls inside the coaching club and the coaches. Absolutely insane community. We are literally on a rocket ship going to the fucking moon. And I'm so grateful for life. And I'm grateful for me. And the more we can celebrate this gratitude, and it shouldn't become this kind of monotonous, I am grateful for the fact it's not raining. I am grateful for whatever. What are you genuinely grateful for? What makes you fucking well up? Because for me, that's it. And it's making me well up now. So I'm going to move on. Also now, I am excited for life. I have managed to create a business that complements me as a human. I run it based on my values, my desires, and the gaps that I see in the world. And I am so excited to help the women that I work with, and even the ones who work from kind of the sidelines, listening to my podcast. Thank you, team. Coming to my seminars that I do, even just following my social media. I am so grateful. I am so excited for the fact that this is, like I said, we are just boarding the rocket ship and we are about to take off, but we're not even off the ground yet. And I love that. And a great thing that I keep saying to myself, because we've had quite a few people who graduated from the coaching club in the summer, they've gone away and they've realized that they really miss the support. They miss the accountability. They miss the community, and they feel that they can't do it on their own. They don't want to do it on their own. And I've had a couple of people messaging and being like, oh, can I come back in? And I literally open up and I'm like, as long as they were coachable, they were a good client. If not, it depends. It all depends on where the person's at, because sometimes we can just not be coachable in the moment because we kind of, our head gets up our ass or personal shit happens and we just close down. Sometimes that does happen. Depends on where the person is at. But, if they are a coachable person, and if I'm like, yes, I'm like, you are more than welcome to come back in. And I can say this without a single ounce of doubt in my fucking mind, you are gonna love it. The coaching club is better than ever, and we are not stopping here. So come back in, join the tribe, and let's fucking go. And I hope you've now gone through that journey with me for how over the last 2 years, investing in myself, feeling the fear, but doing it anyway, being like getting stuck in with the tribe. I speak to one of my mentors. I've got 3 in different areas of life: coach, mental performance, and business. And I speak to one of those at least every week. I would probably end up speaking to them all every 2 weeks, every single mentor. And it's not even just like they're not coming to me. Like a lot of the time in the coaching club, I come to my clients and go, how are things going? What do you need? What's going on? Whereas I take shit to my mentors because I'm like, you know what? How can I utilize these people more? And I make sure I do that. And I would urge you, if you've got a mentor, if you've got a guide, if you've got a coach, if you've got even a PT, whatever it is, how can you use them more? How can you get more out of them? So I hope that's been helpful. It's been a really inspiring, past week or so to be in that environment again and to really start to work on myself and to see how far I've come. It is possible for you to do the exact same. You were born with the ability to do whatever the fuck you wanted with your life. And I urge you to go and get after it. Have an incredible day, and I'll speak to you soon.